Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast. And here's your host, John Chapman.
What is going on, faithful? It is absolutely great to be with you guys. We're starting our week off correctly. It's Monday, and we're going to focus on new beginnings. I've got a couple questions, emails that I want to kind of get through, Patreon, DMs, all that kind of stuff. And then the second half of this episode is we're going to jump into the mock draft machine. We're going to be using Pro Football Network's simulator today, and we're just going to try to tinker a little bit, see who are some good fits, answer some questions. I freaking love this. This is awesome. It's great to be with you guys. Love all the hashtag CCs. I'm seeing Coach Cruz in here. What's up, Dominique? I freaking love it. Ace, this is awesome. Look at that. CJ finally made it back to a live show. Welcome, my friend. And so please participate as much as possible so that this could be a very organic conversation. And, before we get to the draft stuff, this is what's important. We're trying to add texture and color to these prospects in a way that the 49ers would view or could view them. That's the whole idea. That's what we're trying to do right here. Yeah, thank you for the hat. This is Project Hoea, Hoae, I think it is. Sorry, dyslexia just struck out. Clayton gave me the nod, so I think I got it right. He's much smarter than I am. Shout out to Clayton behind the scenes. So, first question that I had dialed up, this came from D Eggo, E-G-G-O on Twitter. He asked the question, with Sam Darnold on the team, how many top 10 picks are the 49ers currently at? And, this was interesting because the 49ers have added a whole lot of top 10 picks, like a considerable amount. They only have two that they drafted. Nick Bosa, obviously, after the Jimmy G ACL tear, 2020, it was terrible. That was 2018 year, I believe. So you got Nick Bosa at 2. Then you got Trey Lance at 3. Whenever you traded up from 12, you remember that one. Then we have since acquired 4 more. So a total of 6 top 10 picks are on this roster currently. Sam Darnold at 3 as well. Trent Williams, who you stole for a 3rd and a 5th round pick. He was 4th overall. Cleveland Farrell, who you just signed. He was the 4th overall pick. He's one of the many Raiders farm system D linemen that we just keep developing. I freaking love that. And then CMC, Christian McCaffrey. He was 8. So I don't think I'm missing anybody. Mike McGlinchey was 9. He would have been on that list. And then he goes on to ask, is this normal to have that many? I would say this. Obviously, there are 10 top 10 picks every single year. Players usually stay in the league for 6 to 7 years, right? So that's 70 top 10 picks if you look at the last 7 years. I don't know. Divide by 32. I would say the NFL average is probably 2 to 4. The 49ers having 6 would be definitely above average. Now, what does that mean? Because when you're talking about top 10, pedigree and all that stuff, that's just a traits persona. That's all that is. Doesn't mean that you're great. In this case, most of these players are great. Bosa's great, right? Trent Williams, great. CMC's great. So you got 3, absolutely incredible. You're talking Bosa, defensive player of the year. You're talking Trent Williams, best offensive lineman in the NFL 3 consecutive years in a row. You're talking CMC, who was the AP offensive player of the year a few years ago, and he has been consistently great. Then you got 3 other guys, Trey Lance, Sam Darnold, Cleveland Farrell. They haven't panned out yet. But what you cannot deny is that they have the traits to be elite, right? They have the traits. They have the background. They have all those things. They're Madden created characters. Yeah, I just finished this, just posted on Patreon right before we went live here. Finished a Sam Darnold breakdown tape, which was a lot of fun. Him against the Bucks last year, I think it was week 17. They lost that game, but Sam Darnold was fire. 3 touchdowns. Did have 2 turnovers, though. There were 3 or 4 highlight clips where it was just like, whoo, man, if you string enough of these plays together, watch out. But that's been the problem with Sam Darnold, right? Consistency has been an issue, and turnovers have been an issue. But that does not take away, like, there were a couple passes that he threw where I was just like, man, the 49ers have not seen this. We have not seen this type of arm strength on the 49ers in a long time. Trey Lance has it. We've only seen him in 4 games. Brock Purdy doesn't have it. Jimmy Garoppolo didn't have it. CJ Beathard kind of did, but Sam Darnold's a whole nother level there. And then, Brian Hoyer didn't have it. I mean, Nick Mullins didn't have it, right? So it's just different watching these guys play. Cleveland Farrell kind of fits that as well. That dude's big. He's 6'4", 260. He a big old boy. His athletic comp before the draft was Justin Smith. Has that translated? No. But he's got Justin Smith's body. It's one of his player comps on mockdraftable.com. And so you've got these elite trait guys. 3 have panned out already. 3 in the balance. Now, the good news is they're all young. Trey Lance, 22. You've got Cleveland Farrell. Man, how old is Cleveland? Let me see here. I'm not sure I have the correct information on that. Let me just give me just a quick second. I want to make sure I get this right. Actually, Clayton, can you check what Cleveland Farrell's age is? He gave me the thumbs up. And then you got Sam Darnold that's 25. And so you have the 49ers that are just with this constant betting where upside and youth, right? Upside and youth, best of both worlds. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to pan out eventually, but that's what it is. All right, so we're going to bring Clayton in. He's going to let us know exactly what we got. Clayton, where does Cleveland Farrell come in on the age scale of this whole conversation?
Cleveland Farrell turned 25 back in May. He's still got a lot left in those legs, and I'm excited for that one. I remember when he was drafted, and I thought it was a bit of a reach by the Raiders at 4. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't super big into the whole prospect mill kind of, following the scouting combine, all that. But I was like, who is that? And it hasn't quite panned out for him, but he came to the right team. That's for sure.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you, Clayton. Man, everybody give Clayton some freaking props. That dude, he keeps the show running. The man behind the scenes. But that's the thing. Just because you're young, that doesn't mean it's worth it. But it's the young with the upside and the traits. That's what the Niners are betting on. And so I freaking love that. I get another question about the hat. Can we put, it's up on the bottom of the screen right now. Head over to @project.hoea, HOEA on Instagram. He's not paying for this. I just really support this cat. He does amazing custom work. I've got jerseys. I've got hats of this guy. He's incredible. Awesome dude. So head over there. Let him know we sent you. Because again, this is somebody I like to partner with in the future just because he puts out great stuff. So basically you pick what you want. If you want a jersey or a hat or whatever, and you send it to him and you can tell him like, I want this. It's all hand custom work. I mean, you can see it's straight fire, man. I've got jerseys, hats of this guy. He does great work. So go give him a shout out. Even if you don't buy something, just reach out to him on Instagram. Give him a follow. Let him know you saw his hat on our show. That would be huge. That would be huge for us and him. That's what we want. We want everybody wins. That's the goal here. Now, another question from Jason H. And I'm sure this would be somebody that we might talk about a little bit later on the show when we start our mock draft. He asked thoughts on Malik Cunningham, the quarterback out of Louisville, as a quarterback 4. We just talked Sam Darnold. The 49ers have 3 quarterbacks on their roster. Now, obviously, Brock's not healthy. That's a question mark. We'll have to wait to see how that pans out. You've got to have 4 camp arms. You've got to have at least 3 camp arms. Brock Purdy's not going to be there. So where the 49ers currently sit, you have 2. Trey Lance, who is relatively cleared. He's working out. He's throwing. He's practicing. He's doing all those things. And Sam Darnold, who's fully cleared, right? So right now you got 2. I fully expect the Niners to add 1 more quarterback. Now, will it be a draft pick or will it be an undrafted free agent? I think 7th round would be kind of where you would start to look, unless somebody that you just loved fell, then maybe 5th round. But I doubt a 3rd round pick. doubt a 5th round pick, 7th round, maybe, probably undrafted free agent. But Malik Cunningham fits that. I really, really like him. 5'11", 192. He's 24 years old. Again, he's older than Brock. He's older than Trey already. But he's fun. Electric runner. His athletic comp is Malik Willis. His play style comp, poor man's Lamar Jackson. Now, the problem is you don't have a lot of stats as far as through the air. That's the issue. 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions this year. He's a 1 read and run, ordinary arm. Developmental QB. That's fun, though. I mean, he's fun to watch. So if he's there in the 7th, I'm interested. Probably wouldn't go before then. And so I've seen 6th, 7th round undrafted free agent grades out there. I'd probably going to put him at a 7th just because of his athleticism. And I do think that that's going to be somebody that's on the 49ers radar. I really do like him. But again, 3rd and 5th round, I'm going to say no. 7th round, maybe. Now, next question comes from Anthony G. He emailed me, and I thought that it's a 2-part question, and it got me into the research field, which I kind of like. I like digging in sometimes. Sometimes I got time to, off season. We got time to. So, email your questions, 49ers Rush Podcast at gmail.com, Twitter at JL_Chapman, Instagram, 49ers Rush Podcast. We're not live on Instagram today because I want to be sharing my screen, and it just wouldn't translate well because on Instagram, I got to do my phone. So I can't really do all this stuff. So today it's not live on Instagram, but we go live there a lot of time. Facebook, 49ers Rush Podcast. And then, of course, Patreon's the number one way. You're a Patreon subscriber. You get first dibs. You help feed the family. You build this show. That's where that's at. So Anthony, he asked this. I'm wondering about Eric Armstead's foot issues and if they sound like they could linger or flare up as issues with big men kind of is a thing. So a couple things. There was a lot of misnomers out there about Eric Armstead's injury. He had 2 separate injuries, 1 to each foot. And so the first foot injury caused him to miss 2 games. He comes back. Then the second injury caused him to miss several games. But he played in 9 straight games after those injuries, and one of the highest snap counts in the NFL as far as D linemen is concerned during that time. So I put those foot issues behind. And I know that Eric Armstead had issues early on in his career, but he's one of the NFL Ironmen now. He started 73 consecutive games. 4 straight years, 73 consecutive games that dude played in. That's unheard of on the defensive line. Now, if you combine that with who you just traded for, right? Good Javon Hargrave, that dude's missed 3 games in his entire career. So the Niners have a type. They want dudes that can get snaps and can play and stay healthy. Armstead fits that mold. He really does. Now, I know he had issues in the past, but you play 73 consecutive games, and 2 of those years were deep playoff runs where you played 20 games in one season. That's pretty impressive. So, again, I'm not concerned about his health at all. And another issue that a narrative that I just do not find correct is that, and I want to bring Clayton up here as we continue this, but I want to say this too. You look at the playoff run and what Eric Armstead did. He led the team in sacks and quarterback hits. Now, it was 3 games, but the dude showed out whenever it mattered most. And that's just the facts of the case. And so I don't like this idea of, Eric Armstead has to step up and pull his weight. That does not apply. So I don't know where that's coming from. I'd be curious, but I don't think that the facts support that. What's up, Clay? What do we got?
We've got some breaking news, John. This is pretty exciting for those fans of Ross the Boss Dwelly. He's back on a 1-year deal. The 49ers just came out and announced they signed Ross Dwelly. They also officially announced the signing of Miles Hartsfeld as well. So he is going to be with the team next year. Pretty exciting news. Livens up that battle for tight end too. That's for sure.
Dude, I freaking love it. So Duct Tape Dwelly is back, and just absolutely freaking love that because one, Dwelly's been a guy. The Niners love these guys. Undrafted free agent, developmental, stick around. He does everything. He plays tight end. He plays fullback. He does special teams. He does it all. And so now you've got your 3 guys back from last year. Charlie Warner, got him. Dwelly, got him. Kittle got him. Now, I do hold tight end to be a very, very, very important position this year, and it lines up perfectly with the draft. And we're going to see that here in a second because this tight end class is crazy good. Tyler Kroft's still out there. I don't think you bring him back. You've got you remember Dwelly, he's been on and off this roster, practice squad, that's kind of what he does. And it's a safe floor. But I do think that they will bring somebody else in at the tight end position. They want that tight end 2 spot to be more production there. That's what I'll say. So great news there. Love it. Thank you, Clayton. Mosquito Killer says, John, do you think with addressing some of the issues of free agency, do you see tight end as a high priority now? Tight end 2 is difficult. The 49ers play more 12 personnel than anybody else in the NFL, right? 1 running back, 2 tight ends, or 22 personnel, 2 running backs. Kyle Juszczyk counts as that, and then 2 tight ends. You're talking 17 snaps a game. It's equivalent to the 3rd linebacker on defense because the nickel packages, right? They're inverse of each other, right? If you're in 12 or 22 personnel, you've got 3 linebackers on defense. If you're in 12 or 22 personnel, by definition, you got 2 tight ends out there. Those snaps match up. So you're talking 13 to 20 snaps tops a game. So I don't want to put a priority tag on that because it's a limited position by definition in today's NFL. However, I'm cool with spending a 3rd round pick there if a stud falls. And we're going to go through some of the options that I think some of that would work. Oh, Coach Cruz, look at this. This dude knows it all, man. Dwelly, same high school as Austin Collie and new Colts head coach Shane Steichen. Ooh, I remember Austin Collie back in the day. Didn't he go to like Ohio State? And then I think that's where he went. Maybe I'm wrong there. Anyway. Dr. Steve Brule says, would they play more 12 and 22 with better personnel? Well, so the question comes down to this. Juwan Jennings or a number 2 tight end, right? Everything is an opportunity cost. So it's easy to sit there and say, that's why I always get frustrated with, oh, the 49ers should totally sign this guy or should totally play this guy or should totally, but like the conversation usually stops there at, yay, this is fun, imaginary, and doesn't get to the practical. Well, then who's coming off? You can only have 11 guys out there at a time. So let's say you draft a tight end in the 3rd round, and we're going to go through some of those situations. Okay, we're going to start that here in just a minute. But that means Juwan Jennings coming off the field. And you're talking about a guy who's getting, he's getting 20 to 30 snaps. That's it. Do you want to take his 25 snaps down to 18 and then take your number 2 tight end up? And on top of that, remember, the most difficult position in the NFL to go from college to NFL is the tight end position. It's the hardest position in the NFL. Most difficult. So the degree of difficulty is high. So maybe 2-part answer there. Early on, the first month of the season, no. I don't think so. Even if you spend a 3rd round pick on a tight end, which remember, Kittle was a 5th, but again, that is very, very rare that happens. Oh, Break It 80 coming in swinging with the super chat. Man, I appreciate that. Break It 80. That's a fire freaking tag right there. Break It 80. Shout out to Jerry Rice. I'm sure there's some correlation there, but I appreciate your generosity. Thank you very, very much. I want a stud tight end. I really, really do. We got to see how it falls. And so with that said, let's get through a couple more questions, Clayton, and then we'll jump into this mock draft and we'll put it to practice. We'll see what names come up. We'll see how that pans out, what that looks like. Tobias, what was that question? Put that one back up there if you don't mind. He says, I think it is a priority since our game collapses. Those 3 to 4 games Kittle misses every year. I like that. Tyler Kroft was a big time step up play. Didn't pan out that one play where Brock got hurt for sure. And yeah, I'm fine with that. Charlie Warner, he was a guy that you brought in because of the run blocking. Tight ends are hard, man. Most teams don't have one good tight end. For the 49ers to want 2, I understand that because we use them so much, but you got to have somebody fall there. This class though is deep. Breaking 80 back at it again. He says, while a bit unrealistic, would be stoked if Georgia tight end Washington fell around 3. Oh, he's a beast, my friend. He would be awesome as a 6th lineman, red zone target. Thoughts? I absolutely love Washington. You know, let's here. I'll pull up my scouting report on him. Just because of just how freaking great that dude is. Now, obviously, everybody knows he's freaking jacked up. He's so huge, all those different things. Sorry, I've got way too many Washingtons in my draft write-up. So, again, the John Chapman draft book is out if you want to go check that out on Patreon. And, again, we have that up to where every single Patreon member can download that PDF and you can look through that. So here's my write-up so far on Darnell Washington. 6'6", 264, 21 years old, absolute beast. Gargantuan frame, raw height weight figures really don't do justice. Burst and speed. You saw him in the combine doing one-handed catches. He just does everything. Mismatch creator. He matches in line. My favorite thing about his game is in-line blocking. What do I mean by that? I want his hand in the ground as an extra tackle, just like you just said, Break It 80. That's what he does. Basketball stud. I love people that play multiple sports. He averaged 11 points, 12 rebounds per game as a junior before he went football full time. His athletic comp, which has nothing to do with me, he just punches numbers into a computer. Rob Gronkowski, that's the number one guy. His play style comp is Dallas Goedert. That's what he reminds me of, which again, Dallas Goedert is a top 4 tight end for me in the NFL. So I love this dude. I think he's going in the second round. If he falls, right, to, I don't know, pick 75 somehow, I don't see how. There are a lot of tight ends, though, so it's kind of everybody picks your taste of tight end. Is he worthy of jumping up? I don't know the answer to that. And yeah, there's lots of them. This guy says Kuntz, tight end, Old Dominion, 6'8". Yeah, he fits Darnell Washington, but he's never had the production, and he's been injured his entire career. So do you go after an elite traits guy that you're hoping can finally stay healthy? He's going to be more back end. So if you look at third round trade up, now you're talking Darnell Washington. If you look at fifth round, now you're talking Kuntz out of Old Dominion, right? So there's lots of those types of guys where you got to decide. There's a deep class now. There's a super deep class. So what's up, Kenneth? How you doing, man? He says, John, what's up? Been a while since I caught a live show. I hope I can make the Zoom hangout this week. I'm on nights now, so I've been sleeping when we meet up. Oh, dude, you got to take care of yourself. And, man, I appreciate the plug. We are doing probably one of my favorite things, man. 1994 Patreon watch parties Wednesdays at 5:30 p.m. So come join us. Every single Patreon member is invited. We do a Zoom session. We watch it together. We hang out. We watch an old game from 1994 just to kind of bring everything together. It's an absolute blast. Kenneth is awesome. Whenever he gets to join us, he's serving overseas, so he's absolutely incredible. So come out with us. And if you haven't yet, just Google 49ers and Patreon. Do a free 7-day sign up. You get the draft book. Come hang out with our Zoom party. Watch the Sam Darnold breakdowns, Javon Hargrave breakdowns, all that stuff. And then you can cancel if you don't think that's your cup of tea. That's what we want you to do, because if you do that, I think you're going to stick around, because we put out a lot of content, and I'm very, very proud of the community we continue to build there. So without further ado, let's jump in. We are using the NFL Mock Draft Simulator. This is from Pro Football. Oh my gosh, I want to make sure I get their tag and all that stuff right. It's the PFN Mock Draft Simulator. So if you want to do it, so we're doing 7 rounds, 49ers. We're going to start. Now, I am going to be very, very honest. I don't want to do a lot of trades, not yet. The whole goal of this is to pinpoint types of players. Oop, I'm going to pause it right there at 75. That was pretty good. I don't know if you saw that. Hashtag skills, price is right. We're picking 99, okay? 99, 101, 102. You got 3 targets there in the third round. I think that this 75 spot is about where you would consider a trade up. We're not doing that today. But what I want to do is just give you some of the names that are there based on Pro Football Network's whole thing. And Julius Brents, cornerback, he's an option out of K-State. 49ers have met with him. Eli Ricks, cornerback out of Alabama. That would be a good one. Jordan Battle, safety out of Alabama. 49ers have met with him. Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle, Michigan. Let's see here. Warren McClendon, Georgia, doesn't really fit us too well, but you're kind of seeing the names. Now, Sam Laporta, tight end, Iowa. That is one of the names. Dude is just an absolute beast, comes from Iowa, does all the things right. I don't want to trade up for him, but if he's there at 99, it's a conversation I want to have. Matthew Bergeron, offensive tackle. 49ers met with him out of Syracuse. That's a conversation. Don't want to trade up for him, but that's somebody I like. So I'm going to resume the draft. I just want to give names that you could start to watch for as potential trade targets, okay? 49ers are on the clock here. We got a trade from the Cowboys. I'm not interested. I don't want to fall back anymore. I'm rejecting it. Now the Niners are on the clock. Sadly, a lot of those guys, we got some pop-ups here. Let's close those. A lot of the guys that I wanted, they are gone. G-O-N, gone. So let's see here. Top of the board, Zach Evans, running back, Ole Miss. I'm going to say no. Mozzie Smith, defensive tackle. And I'm going to spend a little bit more time on some of these earlier picks than the later picks, okay? Because obviously the third round picks will speed it up for fifth, seventh will go relatively quickly. So I want you guys to get as much information as possible questions in as we go through this. So we're going to take our time on these three picks. And I'm seeing the question, what site are we using? This is PFN. If you just type in NFL Mock Draft Simulator, you're going to get PFS. You're going to get PFNs. There's a couple other ones out there, but those are my two favorite right now. So this is the PFN one. Mozzie Smith. I do like this cat out of Michigan. 6'2", 323. Now, is it worth spending another draft pick, high pick, on defensive tackles? Free agency changed things. And if you just look at the free agent or the depth chart for the 49ers now, you got Eric Armstead, you got Javon Hargrave, you got Ken Law, you got Kevin Givens. You drafted the cat last year who, right, he was the red shirt. He's coming back, Kalia Davis. I'm not sure that this is really a position that, man, we've got a lot of depth there already. But if it's best player available, Niners don't usually do that early. But I like him. But I'm going to say, I'm just going to be really honest with you, I don't see us using that pick. Isaiah Land, he works out pretty good. This is a little earlier for me on him. You know, he's a freak, 6'3", 236 edge guy. Played at Florida A&M, the Rattlers, baby. I like this kid a lot. He's a straight pass rush specialist. That would probably be his job, and that'd be all he does. Always finds the ball in traffic. He's a pass rusher. He was on Bruce Feldman's freaks list. I just think that he's a really, really good player. My athletic comp with him is D'Angelo Malone, who the 49ers met with last year. I have a 6th-round grade on him just because I don't think he can be a complete player. I think he's just going to be a pass rush guy. So this is a little early for me. Safety, I think this is, and I'm just going down, what's it called? I am just going down the PFN's their rankings and trying to address some of these guys. Safety, Jair Brown, Penn State, 5'11", 203. 49ers met with this cat already. I think that he's a heck of a player. I have a 4th-round grade on him, but we're picking 99. We're basically in the 4th round. It's 3rd-round comp pick. I do like this guy. He's a wound-up athlete, big hitter, sets the tone for the defense, good ball production. I think safety is a target. I don't like 3rd-round safeties unless a stud falls. I don't consider Jair Brown a stud. I think that this is about where he should be going. The 49ers, however, just signed Tayshaun Gibson. I think that if they're going to bring in a safety, 5th, 7th round is where that would be, right? They signed Jaquiski Tartt to a 1-year deal, drafted his replacement in the 5th round. Now he's an all-pro guy. I think that could continue. Zach Kuntz, who we talked about, 3rd round's too early. I'm not liking a lot of this. Darius Rush, I do like some Darius Rush. I like this a lot, actually. The corner out of South Carolina. Guess what? 49ers met with him. I like him more as a safety, but he's a player. 6'2", 198, a little bit taller, 23 years old, a little bit older. But listen to this. 1st team all-academic honor roll for the SEC, 1, 2, 3, 4 years. That is incredible. So I'm telling you right now, one of the top guys on my list right now is this corner, Darius Rush. I like him more than any other name I've seen so far. I really do like that kid. Ricky Stromberg, center out of Arkansas. Not a bad fit, but you just signed a center to a 4-year deal. So that's not something I'm really taking. Edge, Zach Harrison. Man, I want edge. Right? I think this is probably the biggest need for the 49ers with where they are, even though they picked up what's his name? Cleveland Farrell. I still think it's the biggest need. Zach Harrison, 6'5", 274. Big cat, big dude. He's long, legit build up speed. He had a 10.8 second 100 meter dash in high school. I really, really like him, but he's got to figure some stuff out. He's raw. Peyton Turner is my comp for him. I've got a 3rd to 4th round grade. So he fits here. He's a project player. He's a project rotational guy. Let's see. Alex Austin, corner, Oregon State. 49ers met with him. Trey Dean, safety, Florida. You've got a nickel guy in Travarius Hodges Tomlinson. That's LT's nephew. Nickel only guy just because of size. Wanya Morris. All right. Now we're getting into the offensive tackle. And we're not going to redo this conversation for all 3 picks, obviously. But I think it's important. We've got 99, 101, 102. So we're getting 3 cats here. And so we're doing this very wide cast net on what's available. Wanya Morris, 6'4", 307 tackle out of OU. Zone blocking, like perfect fit. Physical upside, versatility, can play all over the place. But he's erratic. Billy Turner, Eugene Monroe type player, 4th to 6th round, but tackles always go early. Andrew Voorhees, he tore his ACL, would have went earlier. I'm going to say no there. And Jamie Robinson, safety. There's a lot of safeties here. Oh, Olusegun Oluwatimi, the offensive center out of Michigan. I think he can play all over the place. I know our guy, Brian Carter's really, really high on him. Man, I'm not liking this. I'm really not liking the way that this fell. But we've got to make some decision. Ooh, Isaiah McGuire's there. Zach Pickens is there. There's some guys at the bottom that I like. Tank Dale's there, small slot wide receiver. I know some people are really, really high on him. So let's go back to the top. We're walking out here with an edge. That's my number 1 priority. Okay. I want an edge and I want an offensive tackle. Then we'll go from there. My number 1 player right now would be Darius Rush. I like him as a fit with the 49ers much more so than a lot of these other cats. So if I'm picking and I got to make this decision, man, I think I'm going to go Zach Harrison, or I got to get an edge guy, but we've got 2 of those. So we're going to wait. Only one can be picked from there. I'm doing it, man. I'm going Darius Rush, cornerback, South Carolina. We've got so many South Carolina guys. Did you know the 49ers drafted the 2nd most drafted player or college is South Carolina, next to only Stanford in the 49ers' entire NFL history? They love South Carolina. Now we've got a trade. I'm not going to do the trade for today's one. We'll do a full trade one later. Not a bad trade. Pick 111 and 140 from the Browns for 101 and 216. So we drop back 10 spots, but with our next pick, we would jump up almost 60. I'm rejecting it just because I don't want this to be a trade show yet. We'll do that. Now we've got our corner. I like Darius Rush, premium position. Zach Evans, the running back, went before us. Now is time. I want an edge and I want to tackle. Just the premium positions alone. I understand best player available. Niners don't usually do that. They go after premium positions and positions of needs first. 5th round, 7th round, those are our best players available. So, man, I think I'm going to take Wanya Morris, the tackle. I just like him. None of the tight ends. Let me just check real quick. Let me filter this by tight ends. Payne Durham's there. I like him. Josh Wiley's there. Those are 5th round guys. Yeah, I think I want a tackle here. So the question comes down to, let's filter this by offensive tackle. Tyler Steen, Alabama, I don't like. Man, Wanya Morris is the best fit. He's rated number 121. I've got a 4th-round grade on him. Tackles go early. I'm taking Wanya Morris. I hate OU, but I think it's a good fit. We've got another trade from Carolina. Not going to take it no matter how good it is, just because I want us to see the targets we can get where we are. Carolina's offering 114 and 132 for our 102 and 173. I'm going to reject that. Another trade again, rejecting that. All right. Let's see the edges that are there. Man, I know which one. Highest upside's Isaiah Land. Edge out of Florida A&M. Not a complete player. Zach Harrison, he's close. But then Isaiah McGuire, man, the 49ers have met with him. I'm going upside. I'm swinging for the fences. He's going to rotate in. I'm taking edge out of Florida A&M, the Rattlers, Isaiah Land. So that gives us our third round picks are this. And I want you to tell me how you feel about this. Darius Rush, cornerback, South Carolina. Wanya Morris, offensive tackle, Oklahoma. And edge, Isaiah Land, Florida A&M. I don't like the way this fell. I'm not overly ecstatic about this. If I could redo it, I'd probably trade up and go get Sam Laporta, the tight end, which is crazy. But that's kind of where it is. So, like, we focus on, who's our first pick going to be, but really you got 3 first picks. And if you look at us in the 5th round, you've got 3 concurrent picks again, 173, 164, 155. So you've really got these 3 separate tiers, 3rd round, 5th round, 7th round. We got a corner, we got a tackle, we got an edge guy. Now, best player available. I don't know why my mouse is like wigging out. I don't know if it's doing that for you guys or not, but sorry about that. Now, let's just look at some of the best players available according to Pro Football Network. Brandon Cox Jr., Habakkuk Baldonado, edge. Ali Gay, edge. Yeah. Oh, I'm still on just edge. Sorry about that. That's my bad. Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver, Ole Miss. Eric Gray, running back. Ooh, Nathaniel Dell. This is a huge target. He goes by the name Tank. Small, little bitty dude, but big play maker everywhere he goes. 49ers have met with him. He would be he's going to be a slot wide receiver only type guy. But, man, he has something pretty special about him. Colby Wooden, defensive tackle. I like it. I think 5th round for a quarterback's too early, so I'm going to stay away from that one. Charlie Jones, wide receiver. Riley Moss, cornerback out of Iowa. I like him a lot. We already went corner. I'm just got Jay Ward, safety. That dude's top of my list right now. He fits what the Niners do big time. Rajon White, Oregon State. Payne Durham, we got a tight end. Let's look at the other tight ends because Payne Durham is going to be the top of my list right here. But we got Josh Wiley. He's still sitting there. Ooh, man, I really, really like Payne Durham. I mean, listen to the name itself. The 49ers met with this guy. He's out of Purdue, 6'5", 253. He doesn't have big speed. He doesn't have big size. But, man, he is a blocker. You put his hand on the ground. He just does everything. Beats man coverage consistently. 21 career touchdowns. All academic Big Ten. I'm talking myself out of it. I don't give a damn who else is on the board. This is the sweet spot. And I'm glad we didn't trade up now for Sam Laporta because Payne Durham's there. We're picking 155. They got him 173. I've got a 5th round grade on him. I'm taking Payne Durham. I'm happy. And for the first time in this draft, I'm like, all right, baby. Let's pound that table. Let's pound that table. Couple guys went right after we took Payne. Nathaniel Tank Dell, he went, the wide receiver of Houston. Jay Ward, the safety I wanted, he went. He's gone as well. Charlie Jones, the wide receiver, is gone as well. So now we've got 2 picks, 164, 173. And we're looking at this. Man, corners are there. Linebackers are there. Ooh, Andre Iazivas. I know I'm pronouncing his name incorrectly. He is the wide receiver out of sorry, let me get this correct. Out of Princeton, 6'3", 205. Elite athletic profile, size, strength, ball skills, run after the catch. He's awesome. Now, the lack of competition is a big deal. But this dude freaking flies. .443 speed. He ran the fastest ever 60-meter indoor race, 6.71 in the NCAA. What's it called? Heptathlon is what he was in. I love this dude. Obviously, Princeton. So he's on my list. Let's see. Safety's a big deal, though. Let's look at the safeties, because this is just like a perfect spot for them. Man, I'm not liking a lot of these names. We might have made a mistake, guys. We might have made a mistake. But we've got guys I like. Jonathan Mingo's fun. Wide receiver, it seems like we've got some options. He's out of Ole Miss, Jonathan Mingo is. And, he's 22 years old. 49ers met with him. 6'1", 220. Brawny pass catcher with vertical game. Stout for a wide receiver. Transforms from a wide receiver to a running back as soon as he gets the ball. Again, quarterback's best friend. Route running needs improvement. But, again, honor roll. Academic honor roll. Chase Claypool and Mohamed Sanu are my two guys for Jonathan Mingo. So I'm sitting here, and now what's my question? How do I want this to go? There's two wide receivers I like. Then there's just kind of some positional fits that we're going to see. I'm going wide receiver here. I'm not even looking at kicker. I'm not even interested in kicker. But, man, there's a lot of wide receivers available. There's a lot of them. I'm going to go best player on the board. I'm going Jonathan Mingo. I like the Princeton kid, but I think Jonathan Mingo is awesome. I think he fits exactly what the Niners want to do. The 49ers have spent so much draft capital on wide receivers. They're going to keep doing it. So, again, let's go back through with it before our first pick in the next round. We got cornerback Darius Rush out of South Carolina. We got offensive tackle Wanya Morris out of Oklahoma. We got edge Isaiah Land out of Florida A&M. Could do some more edge guys here, to be honest with you. Then we went tight end Payne Durham out of Purdue. I love that pick. That's my favorite pick. Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. So we still don't have a safety. That's definitely the biggest need on this team as far as what the 49ers have. There's no doubt about it. Now, there are some guys right here. Anytime I see an Alabama guy, I'm just like, ugh. I don't know if y'all feel the same way. DeMarco Helms, 6'1", 203, fits what the Niners want as far as a profile goes. Eager to come down as tackler, NFL frame, tall framed, can deliver the big hit. Sloppy back pedal, way too conservative. Marcus May is my comp, fit the 6th round. So he fits here, but part of me just says, I don't like him. Is it bad that I'm just kind of out on him as just a player? Just because it's not fair, and I understand that, but I don't know. I'm not liking a lot of these guys. What about Gervais Owens? The 49ers met with Gervais Owens. I've got a 6th round grade on him, 6 foot, 195. Great ball skills, tracks the ball. I've got a 6th round grade on him. We're at the back end of the 5th. I'm really liking this cat. So my question to you guys is, what would you guys rather do? So right now I'm leaning safety, Gervais Owens. He fits what the 49ers want to do perfectly. He's JUCO transfer. He was a track and wrestler stud in high school. Justin Evans is my comp. 6 foot, 195, fits our profile. Is there another position? Defensive tackle, I'm seeing some of those put out there. Let's see here. I'm seeing Jalen Redmond, Jackson Player. These are defensive. Nesta Jade Silvera out of Arizona State. Carl Brooks. I've got later round grades. Byron Young out of Alabama. Stills is there. DJ Dale is there. Jared Cook. There's a lot of guys there, but I'm just like, you know what? I'm not sold on any of them. Keandre Coburn is gone. The defensive tackle out of Texas, I'm not seeing him. We've already got a corner. Rajon Wright's still there. Nick Jones is there. There's some good corners still in the spot. Linebacker, just not a position of need. I'm not seeing a stud that's there. I like Cam Jones, but still, it's not like a huge Yaya Diaby, out of Louisville. I do like him. One, just a freaking awesome name. What's up, Yaya? I've got a 6-round grade on him. I'm going to say no. Okay, now this is a flaw, okay? And I'm just going to call this out. I like PFN. They've got Byron Young, edge out of Tennessee, ranked 235. That's bananas. That dude's going to be going to the second round. So I'm not going to cheat. I don't want to cheat. I want an honest, practical 49ers rush targets of some studs that are available. And I don't like it. So I'm not doing it. Okay. Diaby is an athlete. Yeah. Byron Young would be the answer. This is a flaw in the system. And he's not going to be there. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm putting my GM foot down. Byron Young would be the guy. I get it. But that's just a mistake on their part. Dude's going to the second round. Gervais Owens, safety, Houston. Niners like him. I like him. He's a perfect scheme fit. He gets to develop and then step in to start next year. Now, our 6th-round comp pick. All right, let's go back to all. Now we're in the place. We've got picks 216. We're on the clock. 222, 247, 253, and 255. We got a lot of picks on this back end. Now it's swing for the fences time, baby. And I'm sitting there looking at Jake Haener, who is just sitting there, which is crazy. Let's look at all the other quarterbacks. Tyson Baggett's there. Tim Durant's there. Jake Haener being there at this point makes all the freaking sense of the world to me. It really, really does. It just makes too much sense. I'm taking Jake Haener. He's going to be the quarterback 4 out of Fresno State. Let me just read a little bit of my write-up on him. He's a fun dude, man. And you look at him, 6 foot 207. He's right on par with Brock Purdy, 24 years old. He's older than Purdy and Trey Lance. He's played 32 games, good arm strength, not elite, high football IQ, ball placement is strength. Look at that. Fantastic timing, clutch player, quick release, gamer type player, smaller, but man, tough as hell. Absolutely love this dude. I got a 5th to 6th round grade on him. He's going to be the 4th quarterback, but the 3rd quarterback in camp. I'm taking Jake Haener here, and the Brock Purdy comparisons will just be bananas. All right, so there we go. We got our 4th quarterback right there. We're right back on the clock. Cam Jones is still there. I really like Cam Jones. I really liked his tape. Linebacker out of Indiana. And, you just kind of look at 49ers met with him. They didn't meet with a lot of guys. I got a 6th-round grade on him. Explosive tackle in the box, 6'1", 226. Let's see here. NFL frame, wants to play middle linebacker, good range and run support, leadership qualities off the charts. Did have an foot injury in 2022, still developing, but I've got him as a discount Nick Bolton. I think that's a great pick right there. I want to look at Nesta Jade Silverera. Because that's another guy that I like, and the 49ers like him. They met with him as well. Run destroyer, no hip or ankle flexibility, very stiff, explosive, lot of lower body strength, but pass rush isn't there. This is a run stuffer. 6'1", 304. Niners like him. Quentin Dial, you remember him out of Alabama for the 49ers? That's my comp there. But, man, I'm liking Cam Jones. Man, there's a lot of cats here. Niners are going to get their pick. Josh Weil, the tight end from Cincinnati. Carl Brooks, defensive tackle. Man, there's some cats here that I really, really like. I do. But I'm going Cam Jones. I just think special teams starts guaranteed, fits the locker room, and just does a hellacious job from the start. We got 3 picks left. We're going to have to get a running back at some point. Oh, Keandre Coburn is there. Why do they have him so low? I didn't see him on the list earlier. That's ridiculous. Some of these picks are he did test poorly. It is possible he falls. And if he does fall, Keandre Coburn, you gotta grab that dude. I don't think he'll fall to 7th round. I think 5th round's his floor. But he did test very poorly. Better football player than, and I'm not even going off my writing here. I've seen this kid play every single snap since he was in high school. Hellacious player, lateral quickness, just run stuffing, just clogs everything up. Does not get upfield, not a penetrator, not a slasher. He's just a big old dude. I like him. Davis Allen, we did a Patreon breakdown on him, tight end Clemson. Brennan Strain's decent. I like him as tight end as well. Let's see here. I'm liking some stuff. Akina. I don't like Akina in its Kwakwu. I'm sure I messed up his name. I apologize. Edge out of Rice. His tape was really bad, but the Niners met with him. He's an edge player. He's a great athlete, great frame, but he's just raw. And so this is just a dude that's just, you got to work on. That's the best way I know how to say it. You just got to work on it. We'll keep them around. Let's look at some running backs. Evan Hull out of Northwestern, Lou Nichols, Travis Dye, USC, Tyron Evans. Is there a guy on here? Let's look at where the Niners, who they met with. Pull this up right here, running backs, and see if any of these fit. Derek Parrish, he's a fullback. Israel Abakanana out of Pitt. Keaton Mitchell, ECU. Sean Tucker, Syracuse. Eric Gray, OU. Are we seeing any of those names on here? I'm not seeing any. Yeah, so those guys seem to be gone. So, yeah, I'm not seeing anybody I'm in love with. I do like Evan Hull, though. I really thought that he was a really tough player. He's 22. I've got a 7th round grade on him, 5'10", 209. Inside zone heavy run scheme fits best. Twitchy back, runs with confidence, good vision, finds gaps, highly effective in the passing game. Heavy workload, 2 years, slasher, not a yards after contact guy, 4.47. But again, like, he just screams Jeff Wilson Jr. to me. Cam Akers, like, that's just what he is. So I'm going to take him. I think we're going to draft at least one running back. All right, now we got 3 picks. No, we got 2 picks left. What positions am I missing? Interior offensive lineman, we have not done that. Curtis McClendon, I like him. Nick Saldiveri out of Old Dominion. There's lots of guys. This is the problem. When you write 297 draft profiles, and I've had a lot of help. Josh, Brian White, Brian Clark, they're incredible. Brian Carter, sorry. You fall in love with certain guys in all these different spots. And I'm seeing Josh in here, man. 49ers faithful forever. This dude is the absolute best beast. He probably knows more than me. I need to get him on the show. He knows more than I do. So I love it. Oh, look at this. We even got Don Burr. Hey, man, congratulations on winning the offseason, man. That's awesome. It's about all you're going to win. But, hey, shout out to the Lions. I freaking love it. I love it. I'm sorry. I'm just not a Lions believer. I'm not. If they draft a quarterback 6, then maybe. The NFC is a joke. It's really, really bad right now. So I could see them, being second or maybe first in that division. But I'm sorry. I'm not a believer. You can't have a terrible defense and all that stuff. Right there, Big Papa. Look at him. According to your draft book, Nick did not allow a quarterback hit. He's talking about Nick Saldiveri out of Old Dominion. I love how many prospects they have. We're doing it. Offensive guard. We took them there. And with our last pick, man, we haven't got a defensive tackle. Probably need to go defensive tackle. And if Keandre Coburn does fall because of his terrible workouts or whatever else, Niners have met with him. We're doing it. We're taking it. We're moving on. All right, let's talk about this Hull. And I want you guys to be very brutal. Be brutal. Don't hold back. I got thick skin. Here's our draft haul. 11 cats. We did no trades. Cornerback, Darius Rush, South Carolina. Offensive tackle, Wanya Morris, Oklahoma. Edge, Isaiah Land, Florida A&M. Tight end, Payne Durham, Purdue. That's my favorite pick of our draft. Wide receiver, Jonathan Mingo, Ole Miss. Safety, Gervais Owens, Houston. Quarterback, Jake Hayner, Fresno State. Linebacker, Cam Jones, Indiana. Running back, Evan Hull, Northwestern. Offensive guard, Nick Saldiveri, Old Dominion, and defensive tackle Keandre Coburn, Texas. Give me a grade, A, B, C, D, F. Let me know what you think of this draft. I'm looking at it now. My biggest mistake, I don't like that we only got one edge, and I don't like that it was just Isaiah Land. Edges went early. Offensive tackles went early. I do love Darius Rush. I love Payne Durham. And the rest of this draft is filled with Niners fits. What I mean by that is players that will 100% have a role on this team. I'm seeing a lot of C's, Clayton. Does C stand for Clayton, or does C stand for my average? Yeah, they didn't like it. I got a B- in there. Thank you. A lot of C's. And probably the best thing right there. We shouldn't have taken a running back because of how we're able to get drafted UDFAs. Rainbow, I feel you there. But whenever you have 11, the Niners already have 60 players signed. Actually, 61 now with Ross Dwelly. 53 make this roster. And, yeah, I didn't get a safety. I got a safety. I got Gervais Owens. I liked him out of Houston. Niners like him too. They met with him, 173. But I don't have a problem with going safety earlier if a stud was there. If a stud was there. Throw in the chat, who was your favorite pick that we did do? Was there a pick that you actually did like? Or did you dislike everything? Which is okay. You're allowed to dislike everything. That's the way it is whenever I come up with restaurants to eat at with my wife. So like I get it. So let me know which players stood out to you. No kicker was bad. I didn't even look at kickers, man. I'm not a drafted kicker guy. If you want to draft a kicker in the 7th round, I'm cool with it. But outside of that, I'm just kind of like, meh, I'm all right. Wanya Morris, Rambo, that's his favorite pick. Jake Hayner. We've got Owens. I like Gervais Owens. 173, safety Houston. And so, like, okay, I don't want you to fall in love with these players. That's not the goal, okay? What's the goal of this whole entire experiment? And teams do this, is to look at what's available in round 3, 5, and 7. Do you jump up, jump down? Are you happy with the fits? What do we miss when we're done? All those types of things. I think positionally, if there's a strength in this draft, positions and fits. We got a lot of the core positions: corner, tackle, edge, tight end, wide receiver, safety, quarterback, linebacker, running back, interior offensive line, defensive tackle. I think we covered it all. We got somebody from every single position group, right? So we built basically a practice squad with our draft. We got 11 picks. We covered a lot. Niners do like to double dip. I don't know, man. I would not be happy with this draft. I didn't like the way it fell in the 3rd round. Probably what I would have done better is wait for one or two of those. Remember when I paused at 75 and I was like, man, here's 3 dudes I like. When 2 of those guys were gone, I would have traded. I would have traded that point up. Because then I still could have got one of these cats at Darius Rush, Wanya Morris, Isaiah Land. But man, this is fun. And I hope, I don't know, I hope that you guys enjoyed this. It's a lot to bounce back and forth and think on the fly and go through my notes and all that stuff. Thank God Clayton's here. Clayton was here. This show would have been a disaster. But I think this is a fun experiment. I really, really do. And if nothing else, if you walk away saying, man, I don't like those players. Okay, here's what you got to do next. Go find the players that you like in those spots and see what that looks like. Okay, if you swap this guy in or that position in and not that position, that's the whole idea. So I like that. And man, you guys are incredible. This was a lot of fun. We've got a lot more content coming this week. We got John and Wayne show. It's going to be tomorrow. I think at our usually time, I'm waiting on him to text me back. But we will see when that happens. But John and Wayne show tomorrow. Also, we're going to have Vish on Thursday night. Wednesday night, we got our Patreon hangout. Watch the 1994 season at 5:30. We're going to have Vish on. I believe it's at 6. Let me just check the time. Vish is going to be 7 p.m. He's working full time. So 7 p.m. Thursday Pacific time. Vish is going to be on our show. Wayne's on Tuesday. I'll do a separate show, just me on Wednesday. A lot of content coming. Get your questions in. Let me know what it is you want to see, what you want to hear, all those types of things, and we're going to get you taken care of. Thank you, Clayton. Man, this would have been a disaster without you, man. You totally freaking just dominated this. And our executive producers of the entire show. This is episode 806, guys. Philip Kingsford, Kilted Niner, and 49ers George 365. Nothing could happen without you guys. So thank you. And until next time, y'all are awesome. Stay strong, faithful.